Bill Maher, a liberal, criticizes radical Islamist ideology. Bill Maher, a liberal, criticizes radical Islamist ideology. Thank you for tuning in today to the Black Political Buzz Network, and this is Laurel. Today's vlog topic is regarding a recent broadcast on the Bill Maher show. Bill Maher is a liberal comedian / political commentator. So Bill Maher, we know, is a political liberal commentator. He has his own show. He's been on the air for more than 10 years, sort of like Stephen Colbert. And Bill Maher is, I'm going to say it again, he's a liberal. He's not a conservative at all. He's more of an independent liberal. Well, Bill Maher recently weighed in on the debate surrounding the allowing Syrian refugees and Iraqi refugees to gain entry into the U.S. Regarding President Obama wanting to bring in Syrian and Iraqi refugees into the U.S., bring them in unchecked without any background. No, he doesn't. President Obama doesn't want any background checks conducted on these Syrian and Iraqi refugees. He just wants us to open the floodgates and let them in. And he's blackmailing U.S. governors with federal funds, meaning that if these governors of these states in the U.S. don't allow these Syrian and Iraqi refugees into their states, that he's going to withhold those federal funds. So they either accept these people and get those federal funds, or they don't accept them and they lose out on federal funds and federal funding projects. That's a form of blackmail. So Bill Maher recently weighed in on this debate on his program. I think it was Thursday night, this past Thursday night. And he had some guests on the show, of course. He had Freeman. Freeman is a Canadian citizen. So she's also a political commentator. She's been on many talk shows, MSNBC, CNN, and Fox News, and Bill Maher's show and other shows. She's also a liberal. He also had on there a U.S. Senator, Angus King. Angus King is a U.S. Senator from the state of Maine. He's an independent who leans more towards the liberal and Democratic party line. And he also had another guy on there from the Manhattan Institute. The guy's first name was Ben. I can't remember his last name, but his first name was Ben. He is from the Manhattan Institute. And Freeman was trying to make it appear as though we hate Muslims. President Obama has turned this into a debate that's not about national security, but about Muslim versus Christians. It's not about Muslim versus Christian. It's not a religious debate. It's about national security. But President Obama is trying to make it seem like Americans hate Muslims when we don't. So Freeman was debating on the side of Obama. Like a hack. Hack. She sounded like a hack. Like she was getting paid by the Obama administration to, represent President Obama's ideology and his theory on Christians versus Muslims, and why can't Syrian refugees come into America unchecked? Forget about that. Many of them do support ISIL. Oh, just let them into the country. And then we had Congressman Angus King, who's an independent from Maine, but who votes, cast most of his votes on the side of Democrats. He too was, agreeing with Krista and her ideology. Blindly, I guess because Obama told him to, or he's scared not to, or he's afraid to be not reelected or supported by the DNC, by the Democratic Party, National Party. But the guy from the Manhattan Institute, he was like, we're not putting down Muslims. We're not bashing Muslims. But can we all safely agree, that there are a percentage of those Syrian refugees and Muslims in the world who do have radical Islamist, ideas? That's not bashing a whole religious group of people. That's not bashing all Muslims. That's just saying there are a small number or a percentage of Muslims, maybe 6 million of them or more, who do believe in radical Islam, i.e. ISIL. So Bill Maher was being criticized because he spoke out. He's a liberal. He didn't walk the line. He didn't walk the line. He used his own independent thinking. To say, wait a minute, I'm not bashing Muslims. I don't hate Muslims. But let's just be real here. You want to let these people into our nation without giving them a background check to see where their thinking is? That doesn't make any sense. Considering they're coming from a region of the world, the Middle East, where there's a lot of radical Islamist ideology right now being spread around. So Bill Maher, and I'm grateful that he's courageous enough. I'm grateful that Bill Maher, a liberal, independent, political commentator who's famous all over the world, I'm glad that he had the courage to say we're not bashing Muslims, because President Obama wants to make it appear as if we hate the Muslim people, and we don't hate Muslims. I don't hate Muslims. I don't hate gays. I don't hate white people. I don't hate anyone. I don't have to agree with your ideology to love you or to respect you. President Obama wants to force things down our throat. He wants to eliminate Christians. Now, it's okay to bash Christians. But if you say anything about Muslims, he wants to throw us in jail and blacklist us, shut us down, throw us in jail, send the IRS after us if we say anything about radical Islam. Islam, by and large, is supposed to be a peaceful faith. By and large, the worship of Islam is supposed to be a peaceful faith. However, as it is in every faith circle, as it is in every faith group, there are some extremists. And in the Islamic group or Islamic faith, there are some extremists, especially many of them coming out of the Middle East, where ISIL is forcing Muslims to become radical. ISIL was forcing people in the Middle East to be radical Islamists. That's what they want, because they want world domination. They don't want moderate Muslims. They want people who are radical, brutal, hateful Muslims who hate the West, hate America. They don't want moderate Muslims over there in the Middle East. ISIL does not want that. ISIL kills moderate Muslims. I repeat, ISIL kills moderate Muslims. But President Obama wants to bring people over here from the Middle East, Iraqi and Syrian refugees, unchecked. All for political correctness and blackmailing our nation, blackmailing our governors, blackmailing our members of Congress with Middle Eastern money. That's not right. He's the president of this nation. President Obama he's not the president of the Middle East. President Obama is not the president of the Middle East. He's the president of the USA. So I thank God for people like Bill Maher, who have the courage as a liberal to say liberals are wrong not to have this debate. That no, we're not bashing all Muslims. We're not saying all Muslims are radical. But there are some who are. And for you to bring them from the Middle East, considering what's going on over there right now, over here in the USA, unchecked, is foolish and unwise and unsafe. Now I'm going to revisit this. I'm going to have this debate again. We're going to revisit this issue, this topic, because I can assure you it's not going to go away. This debate is not going to go away anytime soon. I know President Obama wants to shut it down and shut everybody up, but it's not going to go away anytime soon. So we're going to talk about this later. We're going to discuss it again later. Thank you for tuning in today to the Black Political Buzz Network. My name is Laurel. Have a great afternoon and goodbye.